Greetings to you all, my brothers and sisters. How y'all doing today? I want to come to you all today to give a certain understanding of, you know, man and woman, our creation, and just our role in the creation, or in the creation of the Most High. You know, I believe that it's important to understand the account of the garden and pretty much how the characteristics or the roles or the spirit that was embodied in each figure in the garden. To get into it, first I want to say it starts with the Father. The Father is the head, and as we know, the head is what the thought is, the mind, and creating things, it starts with the mind, and so our Father created what was the platform. It was the earth, which had no form, which was without form and void, everything that exists, in this earth is by the Father. But the concept of the Father and the earth is, the spirit being the Father and the physical being the earth. I see it as, the masculine and the feminine, in the spirit, we understand that we can't see it, but it is, and in that same manner, understand that the ways of the spirit can only be understood by those who seek it. And to seek it, you have to seek reality. You have to seek truth. You have to truly seek to live in these things to understand it. And in the physical, we can see the things of the physical. So as the word even says, it's important not to only live by sight, but by faith. The things of the Spirit, the things of the Most High, the things of the Father, come by faith, things that you can't see, but you understand. This is knowledge and wisdom, understanding the things that are intangible, but exist. It is the unseen structure of creation. And even as I said, structure, as the earth was without form and void, the word of the Father brought structure, brought form. It made the earth into something. The role of giving, producing seed, and the earth being the receptor. And so we must understand from this, even from this beginning, the beginning which has a basic basis to it. We must understand that as man and woman, we are to embody that type of function, And getting into it, the creation of man and woman, Now understand that the serpent was created before the man and woman. Understand that there is darkness, but in the creation, life was, that is to say light, the light was, and darkness was restrained. That's to say, in the garden, as they could eat from every tree that represents the light being in abundance. And even the commandment to not eat from the tree is rather it reflects, if the man obeys it, the power in the light restraining the darkness. That's to say, refraining from eating from the tree, you know. And in that instance, you see the importance of discipline as a man. It's important that you understand that as you live, you know, as we live as man, that we have to obey. We have to listen to something, and that is the voice of the Father. You know, it's evident in the things that are lively and of life. You know, that keep the ways of life, even as it was supposed to be in the garden. You know, the only thing is that we live now in a dark world, the fallen world. So a lot of the temptations that were, you know, that broke forth from eating from the tree is now rampant and around us. But as long as you seek as a man, you know, just as we were from the beginning, you know, we are given the strength by the Father to refrain from these things. You have to seek to be aware of your surroundings and aware of what the world is, and not only being aware but taking action to, you know, do away and refrain from the things of this world. Because, to put it simple, inactiveness in the spirit, that's to say, in moving towards the right direction, inactiveness in this world will pretty much be just going with the flow of the world without seeking any spiritual understanding or guidance, you know. And if we allow anything to just be or happen to us, you know, that's a lack of you know, boundaries within yourself. You know, we understand that this world is a certain way, and we must do certain things, you know, in order to necessary things for the necessities, you know. But ultimately, this world is not for us; it is against us. And to speak on the world, let me go back and lay out man and woman and the serpent. So, as the word said, the Father created man in His image, you know, and in His likeness. The image and the likeness of the Father. The difference from man and beast is that we have a conscious mind, you know, to do the right thing. We have a conscious mindset and ability to do the right thing. And even as I think about that, the beast is does not have that conscious and to do the right thing. Even within that, you see that's why the beast doesn't have dominion, but it is man who was given dominion over all of the earth, you know, and the animals of the earth. So understand first the role of the man. The role of the man to be like the Father. The Father will guide us as man by His word to be the man that we ought to be. You know, and in the beginning, what the Father called for the man to do was, you know, to dress the garden, to keep it, you know, to till it. And everything else was, you know, there for him. You know, he had the food that he needed, and even the garden being, you know, his own place, you know. But even he could rule over all the earth, you know. So there was nothing in lack, pretty much. The only thing he could not do was eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I spoke on this before in the previous video, and what I would consider being like, as the man was alone, what the tree of knowledge of good and evil would represent. or what it would be there for, you know. As the man was alone, you know, let's say doing the will of the Father, man has his own desire, and that comes from his flesh. And it's something inside of him, you know, that he doesn't have. And so, as that was inside of him that he did not have, the Father saw that it was not good. I believe it to be pretty much, if he didn't have something, you know, the only thing that was there that he couldn't have is something that he's seen. And so he would likely go and indulge in the things that he did not have, you know, which was the tree of knowledge of good and evil that he was restricted from eating from. And that was not good. So the feeling, understand this, the makeup of the woman, the feeling that he's feeling with inside of him that he did not have, I believe so the Father put him in a deep sleep and made the woman out of that feeling, you know. And even that feeling is a weakness. That's to say, as the man was alone, you know, let's say if a man is confident and is you know, just diligent in his work, but it's something that makes him feel like he's missing something, you know, he could be low in spirit. He could start to, you know, feel a certain way, you know. And so, as we know, that in a sense would, the man is made to be an example, not only in the, when it says in the image and the likeness of the Father, it's not only just by the physical strength, you know, but the spiritual strength. And so he's to represent the spiritual aspect of the Father that is in the flesh, you know, the leadership, you know, maintaining and keeping the way, you know, of life, you know. The Father holds life itself, you know. That's to say, he possesses, you know, that, and he gives it to who he will give it. He gave life to the earth, you know. So in the same way, the woman being made out of the man, it is his fleshly desires that were taken out of him and instilled in, you know, and given pretty much life. Understand that that comes with responsibility. And so even as you understand as a man how you understand there are certain responsibilities when it comes to relationships. That's why, you know, as a man, it feels a certain way, you know, it may feel a certain way, you know, you feel like you have to be, you know, you got to know yourself in a sense, you know, and that's not wrong for a man to feel that way, you know, because you have to understand that if you are not in the spirit, you know, that you're supposed to be in under the will of the Father, that things can go wrong, you know. And so you have to understand yourself in a sense, is what I'm saying, to understand how to operate and, you know, with the woman, you know, and be with the woman, and rather even more so be a lead to the woman. So, and the woman being created, you know, I see it as it says, she is a helpmate for him. You know, the woman is not only created just to be a pleasure, you know, but also to help us along this journey. And so with that, you have to understand as a man that you have to hold a woman to a standard. You know, you can't just let any woman walk in, you know, because you please. I mean, because, you know, she's pleasurable to you, you know. And so what you want to see in a woman is that the way you lead, she seeks to follow, and the spirit in her seeks to follow the spirit in you. But ultimately what the woman represents is the flesh of the man. And so understand, just as I said, like in the beginning with the Most High and the earth, so also the man is supposed to represent the spirit of the Father or the spirit of the creator, and the woman is as the vessel, which is like the earth, to submit to, for the woman to submit to the man, to the man's lead is the order, that the Father intended for it to be. But understand the component of the woman and the component of the earth, or let's say, as the woman in the earth, what needs to be understood, and I even feel like just something embedded in something that the Father intends for it to be understood is that the earth that he created can rebel, against him, so the woman can also rebel against the man who she was taken from and made for, and that I say, as a woman, understand your battle, understand in your being what is it that is out to get you, rather, what is out to cause you to rebel. The Father created, and the Father's creation is love. Any man that seeks to lead uprightly, has to have a sense of love, and understand that woman, as a man who loves you, will tell you the right from wrong, and will hold you to something, A man without any boundaries or any standards, any discipline, let's say he can do those things for himself, but he can't hold that to a woman that's coming in his life. A woman will even see that, she's required of nothing. And what's going to come in a woman's mind is that her looks is the only thing that serves a purpose, And as we know, valuing anything in this carnal over the spiritual, that's to say, in this world, if we worship these things in the world, take these things more serious than the things of the Father, it leads to nothing, vanity. And for the woman, if a man only wants a woman for looks, it leads to vanity. And she can take pride in that vanity, as this world has taken pride in this vanity. Babylon, And so understand that we were made to be in unison. And in that unison, we create life. And a part of life is also, there will be darkness. That's to say, darkness is available. It's there. It's possible. But let it only be possible in your life. Don't let it end. Don't indulge. That's the thing that we have to understand. But let me go to the point where I said the serpent was created first, before mankind, before the man, but it doesn't have dominion. So the enemy is, the enemy is one who seeks that dominion, and in order to get that dominion, he has to take that dominion. Take that dominion from those who have the dominion. And so really understand this. The mindset of the enemy is to attack the weakness. Who is the weakness? The weakness of the man is the woman. I can say it in many ways. The man is the spirit, the woman is the flesh of the man. Bone is his bone and flesh is his flesh. She is the weak component of him, the weaker vessel, Even in a sense, this is something that you don't want to be as a man, but let's say, even I say that after this one. The man is the masculine, the woman is the feminine, the submissive, to the man's dominance. And in that they both have dominion, over, you know, they have dominion and unity against evil. But as I was saying, what you don't want to be as a man is that the woman is your weakness, in the sense of, if she does wrong, you 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 allow wrongdoing for your desire to have her. You know, you allow her wrongdoing for your desire for her. And so then that the woman is a man's weakness, in the sense of a part of him, and then it could be the woman is a man's weakness, in the sense of, and even breaking free from him, that's to say doing wrong by him, he will not hold her to a standard, you know, but rather go wherever she goes. And then that the man is taken out of his role, he's taken out of his frame, he's taken out of his firmness and security that he is supposed to be and to have in well doing and righteousness and in the will of the Father, you know. Let a woman do wrong. A man is supposed to be secure in what he knows, firm in what he understands, you know, and be rooted in the will of the Father, because it is not the woman who gave the man, for one, all that he has, including the woman, but even the understanding, you know, the way of life, you know. And so this is something that we have lost in being born into this world. We need to understand that just as the tree of knowledge of good and evil was pretty much minimized and minimum, that's to say, it was restricted, it was forbidden. Everything else was possible. So we need to understand that the ways of life, the world seeks for the ways of life to be minimized, you know. They seek for the light to be minimized and for darkness to rule. In order to see these things and to come back in the role of the Father, you know, or that's to say, in coming back to the role of the Father, you will find yourself back in the role and the frame in which you are supposed to be in as a man, and for a woman, what you're supposed to be as a woman, you know. This world seeks for the woman to, just as the serpent had to beguile Eve and get her to pretty much overcome Adam, you know. That's to say, in her evil doing, for her to gain the power or to become as gods, as the word says, to gain this wisdom, it comes with a sense of killing the man, you know, overcoming the man, you know. And in that, as the woman sees that a man will do wrong all for her, she sees, what the woman sees is that she has power over him. She has power over, and that's to say, the carnal has power over the spiritual. The man is supposed to be as the spirit. But if the man will forget the ways of the spirit for the sake of the carnal, then all she thinks of is that, what she thinks of is that she just has to please you carnally. And then that's how you see in this world how a lot of women think that they know man based off of his carnal desire. That a lot of women think that the mindset of a man is just carnal, and that all you have to do to tame a man is pretty much something sexual. And ask yourself as a man, is that really your mindset? You know, do you not have a mind above, you know, that mentality? You know, you are made to actually be the head, you know. Understand the difference. To get you to think only merely with the carnal head, you know, the carnal, that's to say the sexual organ, you know. And I believe that is a part of the understanding. I'm pretty much almost certain, you know, based off of what the Father has shown me, that, you know, for the woman to feel like she knows the man carnally, you know, understand this. As I said, the woman is the man's physical, you know, carnal aspect. If she feel like she knows herself in darkness, she feel like she knows the man, she know how to pull the man's strings carnally, you know. All by carnal doing. And so the head gives guidance to the body. It is the head that has the thought. and that will do either for or against the body. But understand that a head that is not keeping the body is allowing the body to rather rule it. That's to say, to think and to understand is what's right, you know. When you're not aware, when you're not thinking of the things you're doing, and you're just doing it, you're allowing, but that's to say in wrongdoing, you're allowing your body to, you know, rather, that's to say feelings and the whatever you want to feel, you know, in that moment, you're allowing that to rule over logic and understanding, you know, reasoning. A man ought to be the voice of reasoning, you know, in the proper order, you know.